Hi, this is Scott Siskin. I'm the president of First Republic Mortgage Bankers. When you need a mortgage, call First Republic Mortgage Bankers, 718-380-0006.
There's talk that the Federal Reserve is going to have a lot more power in terms of how monies are allocated and generally a lot more power than they had even before this. How do you see this affecting homeowners?
It's hard to say because they're mostly regulating Wall Street. And, of course, Wall Street was very much involved with the subprime loans, which don't exist anymore. So how it's going to play out is hard to say. I think a lot of it's going to depend upon the new administration and Congress and, where their slant is because, they're not – I don't get the feeling that they're looking to regulate let's say, the securitization of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and FHA loans. They may, look to regulate Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They also may look to, change the way things are done at FHA. But it's hard to say right now. It seems to me as they're focusing on the securities end because I think that's going to keep them very busy with all the the collapses and so forth over there. It's going to keep them busy, and that's where their focus is because they're taking over the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission. So that's is what's going to happen. I don't know. I think lending standards will tighten up because they're even talking about the fact that car loans are going to become more difficult. So it's really because there's people defaulting on their car loans. As the economy gets worse, you're going to see lending standards are going to tighten in general throughout the economy, even credit cards. So right now, of course, the FHA guidelines have been enhanced. So let's talk about what we have been doing here at First Republic. We've been helping people to pay off their bills. We've been helping people to be able to annihilate their credit cards. We're seeing so much activity now with the new limits that it's really amazing. A lot of people who were held back before to really doing everything they wanted to do are now doing it and being very, very happy with the fact that they're able to go above the old limits at 360 and change on FHA and 417 on conventional. Now, as you know, we do FHA and conventional loans. First thing, I should say the phone number. People say I don't say the phone number enough. Some people say I say it too much. 718-380-0006, 718-380-0006. And what I like to do is let you know who's in the office because by now you may have heard almost everybody on the radio and maybe even seen them if you check out our website and all the videos we have. So maybe you may want to call a particular loan officer. So Shazim is here. Munesh is here. Robert's here. Aaron's here. David's here. Sandra's here. John Fahim's here. Rajan, Chris, the credit doctor, and Eddie Alber also here. And Eddie Alber will be in the studio this afternoon. But they're here right now, and these are all seasoned professionals. And the bottom line, what we keep saying is get the facts. It's so important because what you just brought up, Conroy, is all about the fact that there is going to be change. We don't know. What will be the change?
Right. Well, that's the one thing that's certain is the fact that there's always going to be change. And you mentioned, Scott, that lending parameters are going to tighten up. Folks with questionable credit need, of course, to listen very carefully and to really take heed, of what you just said. Because if it's going to be tightening up in terms of the parameters for lending, obviously people with questionable credit need to check out First Republic Mortgage Bankers to find out what their credit status is, so you can then go ahead and correct it.
There's homeowners, so many homeowners out there, and we're really seeing a ton of homeowners. We're seeing home buyers also who are venturing back into the market, but we're seeing so many homeowners, millions and millions of homeowners that have owned their houses a few years. They've racked up credit card debt. And maybe right now they're starting that spiral down. They're starting to have some late payments. Or they're just struggling with paying these payments. The credit card companies, you pay one late, they all jack you up to 30%. it's so many homeowners who are being helped to reduce their total monthly payments dramatically. So it's really important, if you are a homeowner listening right now, to call 718-380-0006 and speak to one of the seasoned professionals. You know, some people might say, well, you can't get information over the phone. Well, in fact, you can get accurate information over the phone when you're speaking to somebody who's competent, because we know our programs. So if one of these guys that I just mentioned, or lady, Sandra, pulls your credit report with your permission, and then is able to ask you about your income and your assets and so forth, they'll be able to tell you with a 95% accuracy which program you're going to qualify for, what the costs are going to be, what your monthly payments are going to be, and also be able to remind you that there's no cash out of pocket required to refinance. No cash out of pocket to because you can finance all the costs. So it's very important that when you speak to them, you find out what your payments are going to be, what the facts are. They can then lock you in over the phone. To our fixed rates as low as 5.5% for an FHA 30-year fixed, for example. Get the facts. Get the facts as they pertain to you. Do it now. Things are changing rapidly. These temporary increases are only temporary. That's really, it's redundant, but that's what they are. They're temporary increases. There's all sorts of different talk about what's going to happen in the future. I've heard, one politician who said, well, the FHA limit should be brought down so that the affordable housing, to keep prices down, so there'll be more affordable housing. Well, in this area, that's not necessarily going to be what's going to happen. So it's very important that you take advantage of the marketplace right now. We have a little bit less than 1 year left to take advantage of the ability to refinance up to $729 on a one-family home. You're probably not going to need that much. Up to two-family, it's a two-family up to $934, a three-family up to $1.1, a four-family up to $1.4. The size of these amounts are, in some ways excessive, because if you look in Brooklyn and Bronx, Queens, you're not going to really see four families for $1.4 million. But the fact that they went so far is an indication of how much right now the government wants to see the housing sector grow. And by empowering direct lenders who are FHA and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac approved, as well as Sony Mae and VA, by empowering us to be with better programs, with more lenient guidelines for the government-backed programs now, that we're able to help out the economy, help people get rid of their credit card debt, help people to be able to take that money and do something else with it productive. And that's something that's very important. A lot of people have deferred maintenance on their homes. Whatever it is that you want to do with money that you might want to take out, whatever it is that you want to do with the money you save by paying off all your credit cards, it's up to you. But you got to get the facts. Remember, FHA loans are not necessarily credit score driven. So you make the call now, even if you've been rejected elsewhere, and we're more than willing to talk with you and give you the facts. And the facts are the facts. If we can't help you, that's a fact. If we can help you, that's a fact. What the monthly payment is, that's a fact. What the costs are going to be, that's a fact. And also, what costs are involved, and going over the fact that you're able to finance all the costs and what impact that has, positive and negative. We go over every fact that's involved. Every question you might have is going to be answered. You're also going to get information that you would never have asked before. Please give a call right now. If you're a homeowner and you're within the sound of my voice and you have credit card debt, you have a mortgage above 7%, call 718-380-0006. You have an adjustable rate mortgage, call 718-380-0006. You've got credit card debt, more credit card debt than you do in money in the bank. Call 718-380-0006. If you're not happy with how much money you saved last year, well, you know what? Find out if you have an opportunity to save more money this year by simply refinancing. 718-380-0006. Because that one call can help all those people in all those situations. And one call truly does it all when you call right now to 718-380-0006.
Just the facts, ma'am. First Republic Mortgage Bankers is a licensed mortgage banker, direct lender in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Florida, Delaware, Maryland, Georgia, South Carolina, headquartered at 110 Jericho Turnpike, Floral Park, New York. And remember to listen to the Early Ride Home every single Monday starting at 4 o'clock all the way to 8 o'clock. And on Thursdays, the Early Ride Home starts at 5 o'clock all the way to 8 o'clock. And don't forget to listen every single day to the Winner's Circle between 11 and 12 on 93.5 FM on Link Up Radio.
All right, and don't forget, there's a refi seminar happening this evening, a 7 o'clock start. It's at the Brooklyn Marriott, 333 Adams Street, downtown Brooklyn, Monday, March 31st at 7 p.m. To register, extension 331 at 718-380-0006. And now the Caribbean Sports Report. That's brought to you by...
Again, that was Conroy's show on the 31st of March, and that's a Monday. First Republic Mortgage Bankers is a licensed mortgage banker, direct lender in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Florida, Delaware, Maryland, Georgia, South Carolina, headquartered at 110 Jericho Turnpike, Floral Park, New York.